Hello and good morning everyone. This is Parveen. Today we are on the 7th session of class 9 history, second chapter, socialism in Europe. Now as we have learned this chapter, socialism in Europe, we have seen what do we mean by socialism and how socialism has spread in Europe after French Revolution. As many countries or many people in Europe have a great influence or great impact of French Revolution on them. They have started or they wanted to have a revolution to overthrow the monarchy and have a democratic government or either socialism. But in Europe, socialism has taken spread in Europe and especially in Russia. So over here we are especially talking about the Russian Revolution, and we have seen that in Russia people is divided between different groups according to their thinking about the social change, according to their thinking about the socialism, and these groups are liberals, radicals and conservatives. And we have also seen that workers and peasants have put on many strikes in Russia to change the to change the society or to gain the economic and political power for workers, because on that time workers, they are having a long working hours, they don't have a good working condition and their accommodations are not good, sanitation problems are there, they face the housing problem. Because of all these things, workers put on many strikes. Now all these things led to the Russian Revolution, but the most important event which led to the Russian Revolution and which became successful to overthrow the monarchy is the February Revolution in Petrograd. This was a very important part of the revolution, a very important part of the Russian Revolution, through which the strikers or the demonstrators or the leaders of revolution, they succeeded to overthrow the monarchy from the Russia. So over here in this particular session, we are going to learn about the February Revolution in Petrograd. Now, Petrograd is the capital of Russia. In 1917, condition of capital city Petrograd were very green. That means the workers who are living over there, their conditions are very green. Now, what is the condition and what happens in this particular event? We will see that. Workers' quarters. First of all, there is a division of cities in Petrograd. Workers' quarters and factories are on the right side of the bank of River Neva. River Neva is in between, and in the we can say in the left side, sorry, in the right side we have workers' quarters and factories, and on the left side we have Winter Palace and official buildings, and all the fashion allied people stays in that particular part of the town, which is the left side of the river bank of Nova. And on the right side they live poor people, workers, their workers quarters are there, and they also have factories over there. And there was a condition in February 1917 in which there was a food shortage in Russia, but that food shortage has an impact only on the right side of the river bank of Neva. That means only the poor people or the workers are affected by that food shortage, and allied people, officials and the Winter Palace and king and all are not affected by that food shortage, because of which on that time on 2nd Feb lockout took place. That means workers put on strike. On a very next day, workers of 50 factories called a strike upon the government, strike upon the monarchy, because they are having a worst condition of living. They don't have a proper housing facility, they don't have proper wages, and else they also have a food shortage on that time. And they are only persons who are affected by that food shortage. Rich people and allied people who are on the other side of the river bank, they have not affected by that food shortage. That is why more than 50 factories workers put on strike in Petrograd on 2nd February. On the next day of 2nd February, there was a lockout and strike was taken place, and in many factories, women are also there who put on strike and who participated in the strike. That is why 2nd Feb is commonly called as or accepted as International Women's Day. On 2nd Feb or on 22nd Feb we celebrate International Women's Day because of this particular event, because on 22nd Feb 1970 in Russian Revolution women took active participation in strike. That is why because of that contribution of women, that particular day 22nd February is remembered as an International Women's Day in world's history. Okay, so after that, after 22nd Feb, when they have declared with the strike, when the workers declared with the strike demonstration, those strike workers are called as demonstration. They came back on 24th and 25th again. They put on the strike, but they are not demonstrating anything. On 22nd Feb, they decided to put on strike, but after that, on 24th and 25th, those demonstrations come forward to demonstrate over that. On Sunday 25th Feb, government suspended Duma because of that strike. And on 26th demonstration, because government suspended Duma, that is why on 26th Feb, demonstrators came out of their houses and they come on the streets for demonstrating their strike. And 27th, police headquarters were ransacked by the demonstrators. That means the revolution has taken a very serious step. Taken a very serious action. They are moving towards the very serious action. Clavery refuses. On that time, King Tsar appointed or Tsar called for the Clavery military to stop the demonstrators to fire on demonstrators, but Clavery refused to fire on demonstrators, because of which one officer of the Clavery was shot by the shot by the king people, and that is why other regiments of the Clavery joined the strike against the Tsar. That means military also joined the demonstrators on that time. Striking workers gathered, and then after that, when striking workers get the power of military, they come together because Duma was suspended. That is why they come together to make a Soviet or council, which is called as Petrograd Soviet. And on the next day, they went to meet with the military. They went to meet the Tsar, and the military officer, the military leader, advised the Tsar to abdict from his throne. And after that, on 2nd March, you can say on 2nd March, Tsar was decided to take an advice of the military officer, and he abdicted. He come out of his throne. That means on 2nd March, the revolution had started from the February, and on 2nd March, they succeeded to overthrow the monarchy. They succeeded to overthrow the king from his crown. Soviet leaders, after that, Soviet leaders and Duma leaders come together and they form a provisional government. As Tsar was overthrown, they want a new government, and then to make a new government, Soviet leaders and Duma leaders, that is the striking worker leaders and Duma leaders, they come together and they make a provisional government. February Revolution, you can say over here, February Revolution brought down the monarchy in February 1917. That means the revolution which had started, it was end in February 1917. Finally, the Russian people succeeded to overthrow the monarchy from the Russia, and there was a provisional government in Russia on that time in February 1917. But after, when they have a provisional government, that provisional government is also having certain problems, because that provisional government is not accepted by all. That is why after February, after overthrown the monarchy, after overthrown the Tsar, Bolshevik Lenin, who was exiled from the Russia, Lenin has come back and he tried to make a Bolshevik government in Russia. And that particular part we will see in the next video. I hope you have understand this particular part of Russian Revolution, which is very important. If you are having any doubt, you can ask me in comment. So in our next session, we will see that after getting independence, what government was there in Russia. Till then, thank you.